addition to hiring a hitting coach this week, the Pirates hired an assistant pitching coach. And we are being led to believe, coincidentally, from multiple different directions around the baseball world, that this is a really big deal. Please stay tuned for this one. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins in the same place that you found this. Brent Strom is his name. That's the new assistant pitching coach. Let me repeat that. Assistant pitching coach. And yet, yesterday, Steve Phillips, the former Mets GM and now an analyst on MLB Network, was quoted as saying, "It's crazy, the move in Pittsburgh. How brilliant it is when you think about Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, Paul Skeens, the other young pitchers they have coming. And for Brent Strom, it's not about being the guy. It's not about being the head pitching coach and the lead guy. He wants to help pitchers get better. What a great place to go with great young pitchers." There's actually, my friends, way more to this quote, but I don't want to eat up the whole show with this. It's amazing that it didn't come with like violins and pianos and everything else, right? If that's not enough, Robert Murray, who's an independent reporter who really just tracks agents, and as a result, he's made something of a name for himself on social media, doesn't cover any team, but again, he's just constantly in touch with agents, and there's people who make a living out of that. And he spent half of his show that he does on YouTube yesterday talking about Brent Strom, the new assistant pitching coach in Pittsburgh. And what a great, great move it was for the Pirates. All the greats. I'm not adding any greats, by the way. These were all greats that were included with both of these reports. Now, I've been doing this for a while, meaning this whole journalism gig and baseball writing and so forth. And I'm here to tell you that these things do not happen coincidentally. And if they do, they don't happen on the same day. And if they do, they most certainly do not happen as it relates to an assistant pitching coach. Have I mentioned that this individual is an assistant pitching coach? No. You know what this is? This is the Pirates from within calling out favors to people who routinely are in touch with agents, team executives, people who operate at that level. And by that level, I'm not referring to some high stratosphere. I'm referring to player personnel, coach personnel, that sort of thing, as opposed to on-field matters. They have their own little world, their own little vibe. And in this context, everybody does everybody a favor. Again, I'm speaking from experience. I have not been immune to this, all right? Everybody does everybody a solid if they've ever done them a solid in the past. So if you want information in the future about something that could be going on with the Pirates, man, did we just hire the greatest assistant pitching coach. I mean, what a move that is for us. We are just, this guy's the best. I can't believe we got him. He's great. Great, 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 great. And mark my words, over the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to see even more of this from people who have similar roles in baseball media. If I hadn't lived this myself, I wouldn't be speaking from experience. But let me ask you a question, meaning you. If this person, I know, go ahead and ask it yourself. If this person was so bleeping spectacular. Why were they hired as the assistant pitching coach? What did Oscar Marin do to earn status that would be above the godlike figure that this individual, this Strom, is that his name? Let me see again here. Make sure I don't get it wrong. Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach. The godlike figure that this Strom guy is going to cast over all of Bradenton when he arrives. Shouldn't he be the pitching coach? Do you think, just to condense this into a single example, that Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach, would have been able to either fix Roansy Contreras or prevent Roansy from losing his 98-mile-an-hour fastball? Do you think? Do you think that Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach, would have been wise enough to not run Johan Oviedo out there until the final weekend of his rookie season and thereby pretty much guaranteeing that he was going to go under the knife that winter, which he did? Do you think that Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach, would have come up with an answer for David Bednar, who never had a day in his life where he couldn't command his fastball until the year of our Lord 2024? Do you think that Brent Strom could have solved that? If you do, then ask yourself why Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach, is in fact Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach. When we come back, J1Q.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org. That's gunstoragecheck.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Today's J1Q comes from Chris, who says, DK, is it possible to have an independent view of each Pirates move? This move regarding Brent Strom, it's hard to find anything negative at all about it. He's highly regarded. He was available. The Pirates brought him in. Zero downside to this. Zero. Chris, for all I know, he really is as great as these reviews that came out coincidentally, magically, yesterday, a full day after it had been known that he was hired. He's been around. He has a history. He has a pedigree. He knows his pitching. But I'm going to repeat this. If he's so good, and let's say that he is, why would he not be the pitching coach? Why would he answer to Oscar Marin regarding anything? If you go back over Marin's history before he came to Pittsburgh when he was with the Astros, his background is way, way, way more in advanced biomechanics and more longer term things related to keeping a consistent delivery, getting the most out of a delivery, of course, making sure that the pitcher, to the best of your ability, stays healthy. And as I see it, and I've shared this before, Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach, came along, I very strongly believe that there is room for an individual like that, for a role like that in modern baseball. The reason that I believe that is I've had it explained to me by pitchers themselves, how much they've learned from Marin over the years, and really right from the start of his tenure. He showed them things about their own motions and deliveries and inconsistencies that even they hadn't realized. But take that and then think of the word coach. Think of where Marin is standing or how close he is to the manager in a game setting. Because in games, you're not going over film, you're coaching. You're coaching either on the field or behind the bench on the ice or in baseball in the dugout. And the pitching coach, specifically, is the one who walks out to the mound, usually when things are not going well. You don't see a whole lot of mound visits invested in, hey, you're doing great, just keep it up, son. Something's gone wrong. And to me, that's when everything either gets or should get, I don't know that there's a better word for this, but old-fashioned. You're going out there to yell at the pitcher, or you're going out there to say, hey, which one's working for you? Fastball? All right, let's throw fastball. We'll get him now. You're not going out there to share your final thesis from college. And so, take what you want from this, because I'm sure if somebody really aspired to study such a thing, they could possibly prove me wrong here. But when Ray Searage was the pitching coach, listen, he didn't have it all down, okay? No pitching coach is perfect. Ray wasn't perfect. But you will recall that when he visited the mound, the result of that visit, something that's big enough to alter the complexion of the entire game, a lot of times, there'd be a good result. You'd see the pitcher throw a strike. You'd see the pitcher get an out. Now, sparing somebody all that research, tell me your first impression when I say, what happens after a Marine mound visit? Yeah, I know. The ball goes over the fence or something in that vein. And to me, that makes sense. And I even think about this when it happens, because he's not a pitching coach. He's a pitching biomechanics something or other. So what you brought in Brent Strom, assistant pitching coach, is an actual coach, a guru, someone who's been around, someone who's had the feel of pitching and of pitchers and their personalities, that he can rise up to moments like that. As it is, he's going to sit in the dugout when the biomechanics ace is going to head out to the mound. Kind of my point here. I appreciate everybody checking out Daily Shot of Pirates today and every day, and we'll be back with another one of these on Monday.